Okay. So just as a quick overview of what I'll be talking about, I'm going to just cover what is the FA Global Patient Registry to make sure everyone's on the same page there, some benefits of being on the registry and how you can join. I wanted to include these figures here because it just shows that since the registry was launched in November 2019, we've had more than 690 people register. And this is representing more than 40 countries. So it just shows that it really is a global registry, but we want these numbers to go up even more. So what is the FA Global Patient Registry? I'm very aware that we talk about things like patient registries and we don't necessarily always describe what they are. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that to begin with. So the patient registry is essentially a database where people with FA can input information about themselves. So the kind of information you might be asked to give is demographic information, so who you are, where you live, how old you are, things like that. You might be asked to answer questions about symptoms and about your diagnosis. So we're hoping that lots and lots of people with FA join the registry and input this information into the database. And the database can then be accessed by approved researchers so they can better understand FA. And any information that they access will be anonymised, so they won't be able to see your specific answers linked to you, but they'll be able to see the data in the database. And another use of the FA Global Registry is that because you'll input contact details, the registry will then be able to contact you about taking part in any clinical trials or research projects that might be relevant for you. So that's an overview of the registry. So where did the idea for the registry come from? It was launched in November 2019, but work started on it long before that. And it came from a group of FA patient organisations, including Ataxia UK and the Friedreich's Ataxia Research Alliance in the States that you may have heard of, realising they all had individual registries in their own countries. And most of these, like Ataxia UK's, only really hold contact details. And most people on our registry are based in the UK. So a number of these FA patient organisations realised it would be beneficial if we could get together and make one registry that brings together all these different smaller registries to have FA patients from all over the world registered in one place. So FARA have asked people on their registry to move on to the new one, which is still in process at the moment. And we're now asking people from the UK to join the FA Global Patient Registry. So now it's up and running, who's involved? Ataxia UK and FARA are lead organisations. So we're the main FA patient organisations that are involved, but other patient organisations can sign up to support and promote the registry, and they have been doing so. We're in the process of setting up a governance board to run the registry, and this will be a group of people that represent all the different stakeholders in the registry. So anyone that has an interest in the registry should be represented. So there'll be people from Ataxia UK and FARA, but there'll also be patients, parents, a clinician, a researcher. So we're really hoping that group can represent everyone that's interested in the registry. And we're also in the process of setting up a scientific steering committee. So when researchers want to access data in the registry, they will have to submit an application, and this will be reviewed by the Scientific Steering Committee, who will give recommendations to the Governance Board. And we're also being helped by patient organisations from other countries to help translate the questions. And this is so the registry can be really global and won't just be accessible to people that speak English. So if you join the registry, you're probably wondering what kind of information you'd be providing. And all the data will be collected from you using questionnaires submitted online. And I've got some examples here of some of the questionnaires you might be asked to complete. So some you'll be asked to complete once. For example, FA diagnosis, once you've done that, it's not going to change, so you won't be asked to do that again. But other surveys like functional mobility might change over time, so you'll be asked to complete that annually so that change can be monitored. And the more surveys you complete, the better, but you don't have to complete them all. So I wanted to talk a bit about what the benefits of having a registry for a rare condition are. I think it's important for you all to know why we think this is a good thing and why we're promoting it. So one of the benefits is that it makes companies much more interested in studying FA. So if a pharmaceutical company is thinking of developing treatment for a rare condition, and they're looking at a number of rare conditions and trying to decide which one, the ones that have the registries will be more appealing to them. And that's because they know there's a place they can go where they can access information about people with FA and see what symptoms people have, what symptoms are important to people, and where people with FA are. And they see that as being really beneficial. It helps to build a more complete picture of FA to increase understanding among researchers and among the community. It will be used to connect people with FA to clinical trials that they could be eligible for. And researchers will learn really what is important to people with FA directly by hearing about your experiences, and that will help guide their research. And what might your data be used for if you join the registry? It'll be used to document the worldwide prevalence of FA. So that's so we know how many people there are with FA and where they live. It'll be used to monitor treatment and care of the community and to understand patterns of behaviour. Like I've said before, it could be used to contact you about relevant trials and research projects. And importantly, it can help researchers plan clinical trials. So researchers are much more likely to carry out trials in countries where they know there are patients. So if they can go to the database and see where in the world patients are, they're more likely to hold trials in those countries. And that's one of the reasons that we are promoting this, that we think it's really important to get good representation so that hopefully more trials are held here. So hopefully some of you are interested in joining or in learning a bit more about joining. And if you are, the first thing to do is to register. So you go to fapatientregistry.org and you'll be greeted with this screen here, where you can enroll or log in. And there's also some frequently asked questions that are quite useful there. And you can access the system user guide if you have any problems. I found that quite useful. But here's quite straightforward. You just enroll or log in and you'll be asked to register as a legal guardian or as a patient. And once you've done that registration, you'll receive an email with an activation link. So you need to follow that link to complete the activation of your account. And once you have an activated account, you'll be presented with a consent form. And this is so all participants in the registry can make an informed decision about signing, about taking part. So it's important to read that through, make sure you fully understand the purpose of the registry and what you're being asked to do. And if you have any questions about this, you can contact the FAGPR coordinators at fagpr@curefa.org. And as well as a consent form, there's an assent form for minor patients. You can withdraw your consent at any time. And this is the main part of the registry that you'll see. So this is the dashboard, and this is where you'll find questions and surveys to answer. So these first questions that you're asked are all about clinical trials and whether you've been involved before and whether you're interested in being contacted about future trials. So if that's one of your motivators for joining the registry, it's important to answer these appropriately. And the dashboard is also where you'll find the surveys to complete. So you may be asked to answer multiple surveys with different due dates, and you'll receive an email when a survey is due for an update. You then log into the system, go to the survey page, and you'll see there which ones you have to complete and what the due date is on them. So that's all I wanted to say about the registry. Thank you all for listening. We are really keen to kind of raise awareness of the registry and make sure everyone knows it exists and can make a decision about whether to register or not. So if you do know anyone with FA that you think might be interested, let them know. They can get all the information on our website, and I'm hoping to put this recording up as well. And also, if you've got any feedback, if you've seen the information I've been putting out about the registry, if you've got any feedback on what you think is useful or any advice, then do email me at ecutting@ataxia.org.uk. So that's